Hey guys, it's your favorite Yap artist here. We're here to talk. We haven't talked to you guys on the channel in a while, but it's time that we talk about EuroBasket. If you followed me at all for any period of time, you know that I love EuroBasket. I love these international basketball competitions. I think they are so good. I've got some bones to pick with it that I'll get to here in a second, but this tournament has already produced some of the biggest upsets we have ever seen in international basketball, with the real potential for bigger upsets to come. Really, really exciting as we get to the final 8 teams here. Let's talk about it. There's a lot of interesting stuff and a lot of interesting little subplots that I want you guys to bookmark as we rapidly approach the upcoming NBA season. I mean, we're a little over a month away from the NBA season tipping off. The NBA season off season doesn't exist in the NBA really, even though it does feel like once you're in the August month area, there's just nothing going on. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about this tournament. If I look a little ghastly, it's because I just got back from the gym. So, in the gym, just working on my fitness. I blow kisses. Mwah. I don't know what that was really, but let's get into it again. We have our quarterfinal set, the final 8 teams. Finland, Georgia, they're tipping off, as of the time I'm recording this, they're tipping off tomorrow morning. A really interesting matchup between these two teams. Both teams probably coming off of the biggest wins in the history of their basketball program. I mean, I could be wildly ignorant here, but Finland obviously upsetting the pretty heavy favorites entering the tournament in Serbia, and Georgia upsetting France, who just looked like a fucking disaster in the game that they won. Well, I'll get into those games a little bit more specifically later because there's separate things I want to talk about there. But the 2 big things I kind of want to lead off with, really 3 big things I want to lead off with, is 3 NBA guys, 3 top end guys, 2 top 3 guys in Luka and Giannis, and another guy who's young and really kind of blossoming into a star in of itself, Sengun. Those 3 are having really interesting tournaments that I think you need to bookmark as we get close to the upcoming NBA season. Of course, let's start with Slovenia. Luka's having an unbelievable tournament so far. If we just look at his stats, I'm getting choked up looking at it. It's so good, man. Getting choked up through 6 games so far, including group phases in the win against Italy. I mean, he's sitting at 34 points a game, guys. And I want you guys to sort of understand what that means. 34 points a game in a tournament where the quarters are 10 minutes long. So you have 40 minutes of game time. He's averaging 34 points a game on a team where he's really it. I mean, kudos. Slovenia has massively picked up their level of play. Really, they hung around with France. That game was somewhat, that game got taken over late. What the fuck is the French guy's point? The guard's name. Just took the game over late, but that was somewhat competitive throughout. France was just not very good this tournament. I'll get into them here in a second. But really, since the Poland game where they looked horrible, they have really ramped up their level of play. And they're playing well as a team right now, and they're sort of starting to figure some stuff out. But Luka's just been unbelievable. But I say all of that to say, Luka's getting double teamed the moment he crosses half court. The teams are shifting their attention, and they're putting everything on Luka. We've seen it. We saw it against their friendly against Serbia. Luka was getting double teamed the moment he crossed half court. So the fact that he is able to generate stat lines like that with all that in mind is insane. I mean, the game he had against Italy, 42 points. He had 30 in the first half of the game. Really, I don't know what exactly Italy's game plan was here, because there was moments early in the game where they were just like cool with switching Danilo Gallinari. That's right, guys, Danilo Gallinari. Wait, you mean Peepaw? No, he's not Peepaw. He's Grandpap. What do Italians call their grandfathers? Yeah, he had moments where he was switched out onto Luka on an island, and they didn't even send help. Really, the entire first quarter, and they got blasted in the first quarter. Is there any way I could see that? Yeah, the Slovenia outscored Italy 29-11 in the first quarter. And honestly, it felt worse. Like it somehow felt worse than that. And a big reason for that was they just didn't mix up their coverage on Luka at all until later in the game, until about, I would say, towards the very tail end of the first quarter. And Italy kind of made it a very uncomfortable game. And there were stretches where I thought Italy might win this when Simone Fontecchio got red hot from 3. But if you're a team like Italy, you can't let Luka just sit there on a fucking island and cook you over and over and over, because he will do that. You got to let one of these guys beat you. And to the credit of these guys, they've been playing really well. Like Alperen Sengun, right? If you're Italy and you're going up against a team like Slovenia, who does not have any bigs at all, like they have next to no bigs to speak of, you cannot be giving up 15 offensive rebounds. You cannot be giving up 15 offensive rebounds to Slovenia. And there was a stretch in the third quarter where Italy's like chipping away. They've got it down to 7. They've got it down to 6. And Alperen Sengun is just grabbing every offensive rebound and putting it back. He went to the free throw line and was getting MVP chance because of the offensive rebounds he was getting. Just really kind of a shitty ass performance by Italy, and their coach resigned immediately after the game. It was so shitty. Their coach resigned immediately after the game, but this just continues a trend here. And Prepelic started to hit some threes. If Prepelic gets hot from three, Slovenia reminds me so much of this like a March Madness team that has just like one NBA guy on it. And it's like that guy's really good and can single-handedly win them games. But then they've got a couple of like shooters that if they get hot, they got a chance to beat anybody. That's what Slovenia reminds me of. They remind me of like a 12 seed, 14 seed March Madness team right now that has one NBA guy on it. Because that is the truth. They have one NBA guy on their team, and that's Luka. But Luka's just playing out of his mind. He looks fantastic from a physical perspective, obviously. Now, what's really interesting is he's been nominated for the Best Defender Award. So I don't know if he'll win this. He probably won't win this. But watching them play, his defense has been solid. And, if you're somebody who's watched me, especially if you're a hater of mine, hello, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, you've always said Luka was a bad defender. So this is exactly why I would get frustrated at Luka for his defense at times, is because if you listen to me talk about him at all, I've said when he locks in, he's a fine defensive player. He's big. He's got a lot of size. He's got a 7+ wingspan. He's so smart that, he can play these passing lanes. He's just in the right place at the right time so often that he'll get steals. He'll get blocks. Like he'll play make for you defensively. When he locks in, he's fine. It's just that he has really long stretches at times where he just does not lock in defensively, and he's a dreadful team defender at times. And I stand by that still. When he locks in, like he usually does for Slovenia, he does look really fine defensively. He looks really solid defensively. So that's what I've always said. It's what I will continue to say. That's why I would get so frustrated at his defense. It's one thing when I'm trying to think of a comparison. When somebody like Jalen Brunson gets cooked, right? Am I going to sit here and just single it out? Not really. Obviously when you're talking about a player, it's Jalen Brunson defensively is not very good. But he's just so small that he's going to get cooked. And he's not like a tremendous athlete. He's going to get cooked defensively a lot, right? But he's a smart player. He draws so many charges. He does try hard defensively. So it's why I don't sit here and really harp on it, if that makes sense. I just got a notification that I'm over my storage limit on OneDrive by 9,000%. Okay. Hopefully I'm not getting charged for that. If I don't even know what the fuck that means. But all right. So Luka's playing great defensively. Obviously he looks really good from a physical perspective. And where I would say it looks the best, where I would say it's the most encouraging if I were a Luka fan or a Laker fan, is late in games. It doesn't feel like his performance tails off. That's really where the conditioning stuff would be worrisome to me at times. And you can be like, well, he's so much is asked of him. Well, yeah, so much is going to be asked of him. That's why he's got to be in the best shape imaginable. It's not fair, but that's the expectations for guys like this. So he looks great physically. And he's just been incredible this tournament. He's scoring nearly 37% of his team's points at EuroBasket. For context, that's more than MJ and okay. I don't know. Obviously you can't compare this to an NBA team. You just can't do that. It doesn't make any sense to do that. But he's been absolutely tremendous. And he's just playing with a lot of assertiveness, a lot of aggressiveness, which he always does in FIBA. This isn't much of a surprise if you've ever watched Luka in FIBA. He's playing when he's in FIBA, he's the best player in the world. So, not surprising to me at all that Luka's dominating this tournament. And he's playing so well. He's in such great command of the game that they've got a chance to beat anybody. And obviously they play Germany tomorrow. As of the time I'm recording this, I think they're 13-point underdogs. So a lot would have to go wrong for Germany to lose that game. But when we see this in March Madness all the time, any single elimination tournament type style, you have a guy like Luka, who is the best player in this tournament, or at least the top 2 player in this tournament, at the very fucking worst, if you want to say Giannis is better. But he'll be the best player in pretty much every single game he plays comfortably, I would say. And you've got some guys on the roster who can catch fire from 3 every now and then. You could beat anybody. That's a team that could beat anybody in a win or go home situation. So I don't know. I feel like 13 points is just way too much. If I were a gambling man, you could think Germany will win. I find it hard to imagine Luka gets blown out by that much in a win or go home game. I could be proven wrong, but I think Luka's looked tremendous so far this tournament. And again, if I'm a Laker fan, I feel really encouraged by what I see. He looks great physically, and he's just a joy to watch in these tournaments. He really is. I can't wait to see what he produces against Germany, because that's going to be spicy. That's going to be very, very spicy. Is that game tomorrow? It is. Fucking let's go. Let's go. I want to talk about the other NBA guy, the other big-time NBA guy, Giannis, who's also having a tremendous tournament in this one. They beat Lithuania earlier today, actually, 87-76. Funny enough, Giannis had a great game, obviously, 29 points. Kostas was awesome in this game. Just kind of stuffing the stat sheet and doing it all. Kostas. Remember him? He was on the Mavericks for a little bit. Did he ever get in a game for them? I don't remember. But yeah, Giannis is having an unbelievable tournament. I think him and Luka... Sengun's also had a great tournament. I'll talk about him here in a bit. But him and Luka are, the clear-cut guys here. You get 30 points a game for Giannis in under 30 minutes. So he's producing. They're kind of like quasi-load managing him over the course of this tournament, which I found very interesting. But he looks incredible. And why I really want to start with these two is because if I had to bet right now, I think one of these two wins the MVP this year. And I know that might sound a little bit crazy because you think of Giannis. The Bucks probably are not going to be a very good team. Giannis has been playing at such an unbelievable level the last few years. I think that we've sort of started to take it for granted. One, two, the Bucks have just kind of been underwhelming, so you sort of, brush it under the rug. But Giannis has been playing at such an absurd level lately. He's also was hurt for the playoffs 2 consecutive years, wasn't it? So you kind of forget about it. But he's been playing so well, and he just looks... He looks different. I hate to do that shit, but dude, he's 11 of 18 on mid-range baskets. I don't want to play a clip here because FIBA doesn't fuck around. But he's 11 of 18 from the mid-range. He looks so comfortable in the mid-range. And yeah, I know he's not. Most of the time, he's not going up against either. He's not going up against NBA defenders at all, or he's not going up against elite NBA defenders. So I get all of that. But we've seen this over like the last few years of Giannis' career. He's developing this mid-range. He's looking more and more comfortable in the mid-range. And when this shot is going for him, he is literally unguardable. He literally cannot be stopped. The only hope you have of stopping him, if this shot is dropping, is him just settling for threes, which he really hasn't done at all in this tournament. He's only attempted 4 threes total in this tournament. He's 72% on 2-pointers. So, I mean, it's just been an unbelievable tournament for Giannis. And similar, their team is better, obviously. Greece has a better team than Slovenia. They've got a couple of NBA guys, right? They've got... I don't know how many of these guys are in the NBA. Either way, their team is just better. It's a little bit more experienced, guys who are in and out the NBA. Tyler Dorsey, Mavs legend, by the way. But their team's a little bit more well-rounded. But they're similar to Slovenia in the sense that, they're not as well-rounded as a Germany. They're not as well-rounded as I would even say Turkey, who's actually got a pretty fucking good squad this year. But they are spearheaded by one of the best players in the world. And in a one-game elimination style tournament, that team is capable of beating anybody. That's just the truth. So I'm really interested to see, really interested to see how Greece looks moving forward. Jonas had a good game in this one. I found Jonas's, it's interesting because I've only watched 2 Lithuanian games, I think, and they're both the knockout games when they beat Latvia. I found it interesting because Jonas really didn't play much in that game. Lithuania's coach, I don't know if they have the same coach, but them as a team has always been interesting. As you can see, he only played 10 minutes against Latvia because Latvia's whole entire game plan was Bertans, pick and pop, KP, pick and pop. And KP had a great tournament too. We won't really talk about them, but and Latvia's coach was like, Jonas, your ass is not defending that. So you're not playing. A matchup against Greece is a little bit more Jonas's speed. And Jonas is always really good in these tournaments. And I'm really rambling here. Sorry. I'm just talking. But no, Lithuania's coach, they did this last tournament. Sabonis did not close games for them. I just find it interesting. I like those teams. I don't give a fuck if you're in the NBA. You're not playing. I respect those international teams. I really do. So anyways, Giannis has been playing fantastic basketball, and they take on Turkey. Ooh. In the semifinals. That's right. They won today. So semifinals for Greece and Turkey. Ooh, that's a good game. That's going to be a lot of fun. And let's talk real quick about Turkey. Turkey's got a pretty damn good squad, man. Obviously you have Shane Larkin, who I don't know how long it's been since Shane Larkin's been in the NBA, but if you have followed Shane Larkin's career or just seen it, he's been hooping overseas for a decade at this point. I mean, he's one of the best guys overseas right now. Just kind of perfect European basketball player. And yeah, he's always rock solid in these tournaments. So he's a really good guard to have. You might look at him and be like, oh, not an NBA guy, but he's a really good guard to have in these tournaments. Obviously, you know, Jetty Osman, Cork Maz, these are all Adam Bona. These are all guys who are either still hanging around in the league. Is Jetty Osman still playing or did he retire? Did I misremember that? Anyways, these are guys that are either still hanging around the league or were recently in the NBA. But Sengun has been the story for them, man. He's looked really good. Him and Luka are the only two guys to have triple-doubles in this tournament. He dropped a triple-double in this game against Poland. 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. He's looked really, really good so far this tournament. And if I'm a Rockets fan, I'm feeling really encouraged. 21 points a game, nearly 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Why I'm feeling really encouraged if I'm a Rockets fan is just the role he has on this Turkey team is sort of what you kind of think whenever people call him Baby Jokic. It's sort of what you think is this guy who's going to have the ball in his hands, be a play initiator. Where with the Rockets, he's kind of more of a play finisher a lot of the times. But, he does initiate offensive stuff, don't get me wrong. But they really use him as a hub here, and he's been fantastic. He makes right choices. He makes good passes. He's... what's the word I'm looking for? He knows what he wants to do with the basketball. He's aggressive in his decision making, and his touch has looked really good. That's some stuff. Sometimes with Sengun, I'll watch him, and his touch just feels all over the fucking map at times. But it has been solid here, and his defense is good. I think in a tournament like this, he kind of like really shines as a defender. But if you watched any Rockets basketball last year at all, or really like the last few years, you know that Sengun is not a shabby defender at all. I think sort of the reputation of these white centers that are kind of offensive hubs. Sabonis, dreadful defensively. He just is. Jokic, really not good defensively, and we'll talk about him a little bit more in a second. But Sengun, you kind of think like kind of these doughy. Sabonis is built like a fucking brick shit house, but like in Jokic's case, kind of, and a bit in Sengun's case, these kind of like doughy white guys who they're not athletic and they're really kind of unorthodox, not good defenders. Sengun is a pretty solid defensive player. And he's looked really good defensively in this tournament. But yeah, if I'm a Rockets fan, I'm loving this. And I'm really hoping as we get closer to the NBA season that, Ime Udoka's watching this and is like, man, we could really rely on Sengun to be like the hub offensively for us. And maybe he's taking that step forward. I mean, it sounds stupid because, yeah, it's international play. And most of the guys in this tournament are not NBA players. So, you have to be a little bit careful. Some of these stat lines are not playing real NBA defenses. But we've seen this before. Like, the year before Larry Markkinen had his breakout with the Jazz, he went nuclear in EuroBasket. And if you were watching EuroBasket, you were like, yo, what the fuck's going on with Larry Markkinen? Like, holy shit. And then he continued that heading into the season with the Jazz and made the All-Star team. Like, we see this happen from time to time. It's a great opportunity for these guys. So, anyways, yeah, huge shout out to Sengun. He's played incredible. Turkey-Greece is going to be a great game. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's awesome for both of those teams, right? I think I saw it was the first time in the semifinals for Greece in 18 years, and I don't know for Turkey how long it's been, but really great opportunity for both those teams to have a medal opportunity entering the final couple of days here of this tournament. Georgia is also having both these teams, Finland and Georgia, are having miracle runs. Both of these teams had the best win in the history of their program. Like, I could be wrong about that. Please let me know if I'm wrong. But Georgia beating France, right? And Georgia's big thing is they get contributions from a bunch of different guys. Right, obviously their best player is Goga, and Goga in this game against France, Goga wasn't even good. France is fucking pathetic, and I'm sorry, and I'm not talking about the country in and of itself. I'll be in Paris here in about 2 months, but France is fucking pathetic. I mean, they are. I'm sorry. I every time I watch an international basketball tournament, I leave thinking, good God, what the fuck is France doing? How do you have no guard play at all? This has become kind of a basketball factory, but it's just like raw, athletic 3-and-D guys who are just like black holes offensively. Like, that's what they are churning out year after year. They have no guard play at all. Like, hey, Sylvian Francisco, he's had a couple good moments in this tournament, right? This guy should not be that important for your team. And God bless him. Again, he had some good moments. He should not be like Eli Okubo he should not be taking the shots he's taking. If you watch this game, the shots that Eli Okubo was taking were fucking sickening, and you should not have 2 zeros. I don't give a fuck. 0-0-0, 1-0, pick it. You either have 1-0 or you have a 0. You don't have another number. Okay, Eli Okubo, change your number. Maybe that's where we're starting off on a wrong foot. Okay. I didn't think Yabusele was all that great. What I would be really frustrated about if I was a Frenchman, right? If I was a French national, what I'd be upset about. What was the Richeche thing? I thought Richeche looked good in this tournament. The problem is he played 17 minutes a game. What are we doing there? Play your best players. Richeche was the number 1 overall pick, was really, really solid for Atlanta last year. Play him. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Play him. I know I just said I kind of respect teams that like, no. Play Zachary Richeche should play more than 20 minutes a game. Now, if I were I need to pull up Bilal's numbers. If I were a Wizards fan, I'm a little bit concerned about what I've seen from Bilal Coulibaly. Just offensively looks so far away that he's entering year 3. It's just like, that's probably never going to get here, you know? And I feel like a dumbass because early in the season last year, I was like, whoa, Bilal's becoming a star in front of our eyes. That didn't happen. I think pretty much from that video onwards, he was got awful offensively. So yeah, I'd be a little bit concerned with Bilal. I didn't think he was good at all in this tournament, especially once you got past the group phase games. I really like the first 2 group phase games. He was dreadful. So a little bit concerning there. Got to be real with you. Just does not look comfortable as an offensive player at all. And in a setting like this, you really want them to. Because I mentioned, you see NBA guys up and down that are just like, Larry Markkinen goes over there and is a god, is a basketball god. Like you're supposed to kind of take control of these tournaments. And it's a little bit disappointing. Let's talk about Finland. Speaking of Larry Markkinen, Finland and Georgia are playing tomorrow in the semifinals. That'll be a fun game because I mentioned Georgia came off maybe the biggest win in their program's history. Finland for sure, right? This is for sure the biggest win in Finland's. I'd actually be interested. If you're Finnish, please let me know. What is the biggest sporting win for your country ever? Because beating Serbia in the round of 16 has to be up there. Obviously, Larry Markkinen in these tournaments is just unbelievable. Like, it's unbelievable what Larry Markkinen does in these tournaments. He's been doing it now for a bit. But who was the dude? Was it Jatnin? Was that his name? Fuck. I forgot his name. God damn it. But one of these dudes just went crazy the last couple of minutes, and they play with so much swagger. I mean, there's a couple of dudes here that you would think are like opium fans in the United States. That's like Playboy Cardi and Ken Carson and all them, right? Like, you would think that's how they look, right? They've got the hair. I think it's Mernon. They got the hair. They got the tattoos. Like they look like they're Blade fans, and they might be, right? Who knows? Over there in Finland, they probably love Blade and Young Lean. Is Young Lean Finnish? No, he's Swedish. But Larry Markkinen is 26 points a game. Not shooting the 3-ball well, but he's kind of another one of these guys. You don't want to put him in the same breath as like Luka or Giannis or even Sengun, really. But he is also one of these guys who, like, he's proven he can just pop the fuck off in one of these games. And when you have guys like that, you have a chance to win a single elimination basketball game. Okay? So, a great opportunity for either Finland or Georgia to be competing for a medal here to close out this tournament. That'll be a fun game. I'd have to imagine... Ooh, I wonder who the favorite is. I'm about to look over there. I have to imagine Georgia might be the favorite. Goga presents some problems. He was not good against France, but he presents some interesting problems for teams in a setting like this. But I mean, let's look at the odds actually. Okay, Finland's -5. Interesting. And obviously Germany is -13 to beat Slovenia. If we want to look at the futures here, Germany is... Wow, that's actually not as big as I was thinking. Germany is a big favorite to win the whole tournament, but Turkey is not that far behind at +240, Greece +400, and then you have Finland +3,000, Slovenia +4,000, and Georgia +6,000. Now, I think part of the Slovenia thing is they do play Germany tomorrow. So you are playing the best team tomorrow, and then beyond that, then you have to win 2 more games after that. So that's probably why their odds are so big, right? Like, that's just a tall task. Germany's just clobbering teams. I don't think they've lost by anything more than 19. Or their deficit in wins hasn't been anything less than 19. They're just clobbering teams. Clobbering them. Part of me is a little bit disappointed. Oh, I didn't even talk about Serbia. Part of me is a little bit disappointed that we won't see a Germany-Serbia matchup. Man, I really thought Serbia was set. They did deal with some injuries. Bogey's injury really hurt them, but like... I want to be careful what I say here because I do think Jokic is probably the best player in the world right now. Man, if I were a Nuggets fan, I think I'd be, I wouldn't say concerned, but I would be like, with how I thought Jokic looked in this tournament. Defensively, I thought he was fucking dreadful. In their loss against Finland, he was god-awful defensively, was in foul trouble, and they were hunting him time after time after time. Not all his fault, because he got next to no help at all from his perimeter defenders. But, I thought part of his problem was I didn't think he was moving well. And I don't know if that's kind of like a tired thing. I don't know if maybe there's like an injury thing that we're not entirely sure of or whatever the case may be. But I didn't think he looked all that great from a physical perspective. And I guess that would be somewhat alarming to me if I were a Nuggets fan. Obviously, we remember the fucking nightmare that was Jamal Murray. Was that the Olympics or was that was the Olympics, wasn't it? Or was that the World Cup? Whatever international tournament that was where Jamal Murray looked so dreadful that I was like, oh my God, is the Nuggets window closed? Like, that's what we were saying. That's how bad Jamal Murray, like, it wasn't anywhere near that bad, but it was enough to like raise my tennis a little bit. Great Britain, God bless them. Who do they got going over there? They should have OG Anunoby play for them. It's hard to imagine Germany losing at this point in time. They're just loaded. They've been here. They're experienced. Franz Wagner's been tremendous. We know Dennis Schroeder is absolutely awesome. We know Opes can get fucking red hot from three. That guy's a flamethrower. And, it's crazy because like they're missing Mo Wagner. If they had Mo Wagner, they're not getting beat. That's what I love about international basketball is we could say that like if they had Mo Wagner, they're not losing. Mo Wagner's like a bench guy for the Magic. Really good bench guy. But like if Germany had Mo Wagner, they're not losing the tournament. There's like no way you could beat them. So them playing this well, what would it take for Slovenia to win? Germany, who is susceptible to shooting like shit from three. Germany like going absolutely ice cold from three, and Luka going nuclear. Like, and then that's like what has to happen almost. And then you have to have some guys for Slovenia join a lot. Prepelic has to hit like 5 threes. You have to have guys from Slovenia tag along. And another thing too, Germany did play Slovenia twice, I think, in friendlies. One of those games was pretty close down the stretch, and then Schroeder kind of just took the game over completely. Slovenia can't like. If this game is close, Slovenia has to stay locked in. They're going to go after Luka a bunch. They just are. I know Luka's nominated for best defender of this tournament. They're going to hunt Luka and go after Luka pretty, frequently. Luka cannot get into foul trouble, and Luka cannot get hung up on the officiating if he does get into foul trouble. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to talk about officiating in this tournament. One of the things I always say, why I'm always like, please go watch these international tournaments. They're so fun. They're so great. Is like, I love the way the game flows. I love the way the game flows. I love the officiating. They let them play, so on and so forth. I do not think that's been the case this time around. And maybe I've just been blinded to it because people always complain about FIBA refs. Obviously, FIBA refs aren't going to be as good as NBA refs. NBA refs are the best in the world. You say whatever you want. They are the best in the world. That's why they're the NBA refs. But, I think the officiating's been fucking horrible in this tournament. They give fouls for everything. Everything. There's so many free throws, so much flopping. It's actually out of control how much flopping there has been in this tournament. And I really wish they would get it together. But moving forward, next tournament, right? Let's cut down the flopping. Let's stop rewarding some of this shit because it is absolutely egregious. So anyways, just want to do a quick little EuroBasket check-in, talk about Luka, who's just dominating this tournament and has the potential to do something special. I think Slovenia has better chance than this. Yeah, Germany is like much better than they are, right? Germany's absolutely much better. It's kind of similar to like the 2017 Warriors versus the Cavs. Like that's kind of what this matchup is, where the Cavs had LeBron, but Golden State was just a million times better as a team. That's kind of where we're at right here. But, with Luka playing at this level and you only need to win one game, you only need like a certain number of things to go right for you. I think they got a chance. I really do. I think I just have this sinking feeling one of Slovenia or Greece is going to win this tournament just on the back of Giannis or Luka. That's kind of how I'm feeling. It just feels like one of those special type of runs where like one of these superstars is going to carry their country to a win. I would love to see that. That'd be so sick. Now I'm probably going to be wrong. Germany probably wins by 100 tomorrow, and then Germany probably, wins every single game from here on out by 30 points, and that's going to be that. That's probably is exactly what's going to happen. But I'm here for it, man. I think it's been a really fun tournament, and I'm pumped about these last couple of games, to say the least. Make sure you guys subscribe.